everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone! So today I'm doing something slightly different. I am participating in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone tag YouTube Hop, and yes, it is based off of that game of telephone that we used to play at sleepovers back when we were 11. So basically, the first person in my group, I'm in group 1, Artistic Arsenal. The first person either chooses a layout or a sketch to start with, or just makes her own. She makes hers, then sends hers onto the second person. The second person makes theirs and sends theirs onto the third person, so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to put links to all the ladies in my group. Obviously, the ones coming after me won't go until tomorrow and the next day, but I will put links to their channel so you can find them if you'd like, or if you're watching this after the first day or two I am putting it out there. So if you are not a subscriber of mine, you probably came over from Kelsey, so hello and welcome. If you are a subscriber of mine and you want to watch from the beginning, go ahead into the description box. I haven't started anything yet. Go and watch from the first person, and then you can go ahead and follow the line through. So who are the people in my group? We are starting off with Sandy Reversky, also known as Steak Goddess on YouTube, Laura Alberts, Kelsey Mae Webster, I'm number 4, and then tomorrow you'll be able to see Shannon Allures. Then after that, it's Lisa Brooks, finishing off with Karen Ruiz. There are also 2 more teams. There's the Inspiring Influencers and then the Scrappy Shenanigans. Team 2, I'm going to give you the starting point for both of the other teams, just so I don't list 30,000 things and there's no confusion. So team 2, you're going to start off with Brianna Nicole. So I'll put a link to her channel below. And then team 3 starts off with Half Becky Bay. No, sorry, that's Half Becky Back. I'm like, that is not right, because I am a subscriber of hers. So I'm like, that's not the right last name there. So I will put links to both Brianna and Becky in the description box below, along with everyone who's on my team. So I am going to be scrap lifting Kelsey, and you can see here is her lovely layout that I'm going to be scrap lifting. I'm going to be using slightly different, obviously. I have 3 3x4 photos, and I'm going to break into my indigo and ivy. When I have all the indigo and ivy. I very much liked this line. I bought everything, partially from Paper Issues and partially from my little scrapbook store. Perfectly. All right, folks, I think I've nattered on about you long enough. Do not forget, if you want to start at the beginning of this tag, go to Sandy's channel first and then follow it through. Don't forget to check out the other groups. And if you could flick me a thumbs up for this video, that would be super duper awesome. Let's go ahead and get you on fast forward. So let's get going. All right, I did cut away from part of that. I was very just yammering on and on about nothing, so I just cut away from it. Right now, all I'm doing is I'm going through all of the papers, because I do have doubles of all of the papers, and I'm just pulling out a couple that I think might work for this. Going by Kelsey's layout, there were several layers going on, so I did want to pick out several paper choices, including this one with the watercolory crosshatch looking paper with the greens and the blues, and I absolutely loved it. I think it was so beautiful. It's actually going to be my main background, and I'm just going to line my 3 photos up like this vertically, and that way it does mimic Kelsey's one 4x6 photo, even though it's not exactly what's going on. So I had picked out several choices, but I knew some of them would only work in certain ways. So I went ahead and pulled out a couple of those pattern papers that, because I decided on this crosshatchy one, that other watercolor blue tone on tone with the same style of layering over each other wasn't going to work. What is going to work is this weathered wood paper, and that is what I'm going to map my 3 photos on. And I'm going to do it so the photos are offset, and then I'm going to realize I'm having the same issue I've been having with my ATG. It is not the ATG's fault. It is completely my fault for losing the little cover piece. Someone had mentioned that Scotch will replace it for a couple bucks, only they won't anymore. Now they have it where you have to have a minimum of $25. You have to purchase $25 worth of stuff for them to send it to you. And they even suggested it's cheaper just to buy a new one with a coupon. And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy a whole new one just to throw it away or stick it in a drawer. So I'll just deal with it. It really doesn't take that much time to reset it. Okay, so I used paper number 12 and paper number 7, and now what I'm doing is I am gutting the paper here with this tone-on-tone canvasy linen look. It is possible to do this with a caterpillar. You kind of just shimmy the paper underneath and then, go ahead and cut. It doesn't look pretty, but all of that is hidden, so that is all right. So what I'm going to do now is trim down this blue and green paper. Normally I would just cut like half an inch off of 2 different sides, but because of this pattern, I wanted it centered. I go ahead and trim a 1/4 inch off of all 4 sides, so I can now have it nicely I can have it nicely meet in the center. Okay, there we go. English, very difficult. Okay, I am inking everything up. I believe I'm using pumice stone. Normally, my normal go-to for inking the edges of things is hickory smoke, but I thought that would be too dark with all the sandy tones. Oh yeah, thumbs down because I love the back of this paper, and I wish I didn't have to use this side, but this is the side that was calling to me, so I went ahead and just I do have 2 of each paper, so I really shouldn't be all that sad, but I was a little sad in my heart for giving up on that multicolored stripe. All right, so I went ahead and trimmed down the piece that I'm having matting my photos, and I am once again going to go ahead and ink that one up as well. And so I'm going to, as in Kelsey's layout, have my photos over on the right-hand side there. What I'm looking for now is something to mimic what she uses for her layout. In her layout, she uses a feather and a doily, and it's all very girly and sweet and soft, but because, and you can see I'm showing you right here, there's that tag and the feather and the doily, and so I grab a tag and then a cut apart that is going to end up doing my being where my journaling is going to go. I am using a new version of my editing system, so things are a slight bit rough. So I do apologize for that. I'm trying to relearn because it's one of the big versions. So like it was like a whole new downloading of everything. So everything is slightly different. So all of my cuts are slightly off. Not everything is exactly the same. So I do apologize for that. This is actually the first video I'm doing with this version. So I'm just a little discombobulated in some points. Okay, I went ahead and ripped several pieces of my paper. That is my thing lately. I am ripping all the papers. I decided what I needed was something else that had multiple colors in it. I've got that navy and cream, I've got that beige and cream, and then I've got the green tone on tones as well. I wanted a piece that would tie all of that in, and this little chevron-y hash mark paper is going to do that for me. Now when I rip this, I rip it slightly angled to the bottom. It's fine. I'm not super happy with the way things are going right now. I'm going ahead and I'm inking up all of the papers, but I'm not really happy with the way they are looking. I'm just trying to figure out my layering configuration. And what I finally realized is that what I want is for that navy blue to be over on the right hand side as well as the left hand side. And that actually just makes, I don't know why, but it just makes it like, so here why isn't this working? I'm not happy with the way this is working. What is wrong? And so finally I realized when I go and I lay that piece of my photos back down, I'm I'm like, oh, I need that navy to be over on the right hand side as well. And then I'm just looking at it with the tag and the journaling piece I have. And now I'm much happier with the way it's looking. Now that I can see that navy over there, I'm much happier, and I'm just trying to, get it actually straightish. So this layout I ended up loving. Um I loved what Kelsey did, so I can't wait to see what all the other ladies have done with it as well. But for me, I just wasn't in love with it at this point. I like the way the papers look right now, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the embellishments. But then when I start doing my embellishing, I have a rough time as well until I figure out what I'm doing wrong. But it's kind of one of those where I struggled a bit, and so it took me a while to get there, but once I finished it, I absolutely loved the way it turned out. So I'm just cleaning up a bit. I'm not quite sure where I want to go with my embellishments. I haven't worked with the Indigo and Ivy line before, so I have all full packages of everything, so I kind of have to poke through. So in Kelsey's layout, she uses a doily. Obviously, I'm going for a more masculine look, so I don't want to use a doily. I am thinking, however, that I want to use a frame. And I think at first I'm going to use that cork, not cork, it's oh, sugar, I can't think of the word, but the brown one. But I decided instead to use the blue one, which has the leaves on it. And in my head right now, because of Kelsey's design, I have that frame being the doily, and so what I'm looking for is some sort of die cut or sticker to represent the feather. I do find a couple of file tabs that I add to the top of my photos, and so my thinking is I have that up at the top of the layout, and then have that tag and the journaling spot at the bottom of the layout. So I'm thinking of them as a vertical thing to match up with my photos, but I'm not finding anything that's working, and I'm not happy with the way it's looking. So I'm just going to myself, this just is not, happening the way I want it to. So I start playing with things. I'm like, what if I bring this up instead? So I attach the journaling spot to my tag with that Tim Holtz tiny attacher. And then I think, oh my gosh, yes, it will work so much better if the tag is up with the frame. Then the layout makes sense to me. So even though obviously now I'm changing Kelsey's layout, I'm using the telephone, quote unquote, and I'm much happier with the way it looks now. So I pull out a couple of these chipboard phrase pieces. They are not stickers. They do not have glue on the back. And I have it's the little things and a couple of smaller ones. And I'm also pulling out some of the stickers, pulling in that yellow to that, just to bring a difference of colors, because it was getting very monotone up in that upper right hand side. And now I'm starting to think about my title. I do pull out that ampersand. I'll stick an ampersand on anything. I do quite like ampersands. So for my title, I'm thinking I want to go with something longish, and I want to use multiple fonts. I enjoy doing that, so why not, since I'm very much liking this layout. So from the 6x12 sticker sheet, I do pull out the word fun. So I'm going to use that as part of my title. I'm also going to pull another sticker from that, and so my title right now is Wonderful Fun. And now I'm using the gold mini alpha from the Indigo and Ivy line, and I'm going to double layer two words here. So it's going to be Wonderful Fun on the, and then finish off my title using the other thickers that came with this line. And these style where it's a foam underneath with a thin layer of chipboard or top are fast becoming my favorite type. You do have to be careful when you're pulling them off the sheet that you don't bend them, but I love the versatility. I love that they're foam, so they stick much nicer, but having that chipboard on top can give you that shiny look, which I prefer over the flat look of foam. So my entire title is Wonderful Fun on the Boardwalk. So I'm going ahead and using my Art Glitter Clear Glue to finish gluing down all of the chipboard pieces on this layout. And then I'm going to keep it pretty simple for the rest. I'm just going to add these gold enamel dots from the eyelet outlet, and I finish off the entire package. Yay! Excitement, excitement, yay! And then once I do that, I am going to be finished, I think, except for some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. So since I'm almost finished here, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, whether you are a subscriber or if you're coming over following the hop. Please don't forget to head on over and check out all the other ladies, both in my group and the other two YouTube groups. And if you join the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Facebook group, there are also non-YouTube ladies also doing the telephone tag, and they will be sharing on the Facebook group. All right, ladies, that is going to finish off my layout. Have a wonderful day. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super great. Bye!